Good morning, Blue Jays fans, and welcome to Jays Latest. I'm your host, Craig Borden. We're going to talk all things Toronto Blue Jays today. Make sure you hit those like, share, and subscribe buttons so we can have some more fun every day. So, what a night. Holy crap. Crazy evening or afternoon of Toronto Blue Jays baseball yesterday. What started out as an early lead turned into an affair by the end of the game as the Blue Jays squeak out a extra inning battle against the Miami Marlins 7-6. This one went all the way through 12 innings. It's been a long time since I've seen anything that actually lasts more than 10. So that was interesting with this extra base rule. This doesn't happen as often as it used to. So very interesting to see that how it did, but I didn't agree with how the Blue Jays got there, and wow, did the Miami Marlins find a way to be very pesky in the middle of this game and just really take it to the Blue Jays and found a way to stay in this game and then go back and forth with runs being scored in the 10th, 11th, and then finally the Blue Jays outlasting them in the 12th. So very interesting. Let's dive into it. Blue Jays got the scoring going with a George Springer single, bringing in Nathan Lucas at the time. Springer has been hot, but we're going to get to that in a moment. In the sixth inning, Alejandro Kirk was the one that got this really kind of going in the right direction. Addison Barger scored on a single or a double by Alejandro Kirk and kept things going. And then with the bases loaded, Miles Straw draws a walk, so that put the Blue Jays up 3-0 to close out the top of the sixth. Top of the seventh, we get another Springer dinger. So it's his 22nd of the year. He's been like 300. There's all these wonderful, amazing things, and he is in fuego. There is nothing crazier to say than that right now. But this is where things went off the bat. So I want to talk before we go too far here. The evening or the afternoon that was Jose Barrios' outing, because up to this point in the sixth inning, dealing. He didn't have all his velocity like he hasn't had over the last few outings and whatnot, but Barrios was an incredible line at this point. 6 innings of hard work, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 8 strikeouts, but all of that did not occur until the 7th inning. So that is where the hole got dug. That's where both the earned runs happened. He was dealing. So it was very interesting to see that he was actually doing something as good as he was. He lowered his season ERA to 3.95. And Jose Barrios has been finding a fun way to be messing around with hitters again, it seems. And to that point, it was very good to watch him do what he did at the Miami Marlins lineup and carve that up yesterday until they finally caught something and were able to move with it. So they scored 2 runs off of him in the 7th inning. That was, wait for it. Started off with Trey Johnson driving in a run, a little flare from Javier Sanja. And he's been a thorn in the side for the Blue Jays. Young player, very good apparently. I couldn't believe he got to the ball that he hit to drive in the run. That was a great pitch. And in the midst of that, Otto Lopez also got in on the action off of Louis Varland, who was come into play after Barrios got pulled from the inning. Then let's fast forward to the 9th, where the Sonja once again comes up with a big hit. I can't believe he tweaked this thing in the outfield, but it ties the game up at 4-4. Top of the inning in the 10th, Blue Jays get an out on the sac fly by Ty France. Then Jacob Moresi comes out and scores again. So the back and forth has now begun. Andres Jimenez singled in the 11th, drove in Miles Straw. Then the Miami Marlins, once again, Sanja again, comes in and gets another base hit, gets another run scored, 6-6 to end the 11th. Now, in the top of the 12th, Bo Bichette finally gets the cherry on the top the Blue Jays needed and scores George Springer. And Brandon Little comes in and closes it out. Finally. So, that's how it happened. Tommy Nance ends up picking up the win. Brandon Little gets the save. But runs were scored off of Hoffman and Varland pretty efficiently in the outs. So this seemed like a lot of pitches thrown by Jeff Hoffman in his 1 inning of work. But I can't believe that Sanja hit off of Hoffman. He threw the bat in the other batter's box and basically knocks in the run. So can't blame Hoffman for that one. That was the definition of seeing eye single. So, anyways, let's talk the fun that has been the Bo Spring show. Yesterday, in the leadoff spot, George Springer goes 3 for 6 with the home run and 2 RBIs. As mentioned, 2 runs scored. Bo Bichette 4 for 6 with 2 runs scored and an RBI. And watching the two of them this season has been a thing of beauty for Blue Jays fans, and it was very great to see them be the ones that spelled this story out for the Blue Jays winning this game in epic fashion. But the two of them have been crazy hot. Bo has got the most multi-hit games in majors, along with leading in hits. George Springer is currently on a 13 on-base game, something like that. And not to mention the 4 home runs again over the last week or so. So, just wild stuff. Anyway, on the mound today to close out the series, Blue Jays will be playing at 1:40 p.m. They will be hopefully not having another 12-inning marathon, and Kevin Gausman will be on the mound against Eury Perez. Eury Perez has always been one of those players that I've been looking forward to seeing how he buds out into his career, because he does have some really good stuff. He's been having a very good season, and it's been, let's say, a little up and down of late. St. Louis, he only threw 4 innings of work, but only allowed 1 earned run in his last outing. Meanwhile, the outings right before that, he pitched both 5 innings, and he allowed 4 and 5 earned runs against the Cleveland Guardians and the Atlanta Braves. Meanwhile, on the flip side, he'll be facing Kevin Gausman, who has had a pretty good run of not allowing anything over 2 runs in his last 3 outings. 2 7-inning performances and a 5-inning performance against the Pittsburgh Pirates in his last outing. Gausman has been looking like the Gausman that we enjoy to watch, and true ace of this staff. Yeah, not a lot to speak of as far as who's faced each other in these lineups. With so many youngsters on the Marlins side, they haven't seen Kevin Gausman, and Eury Perez having a perennial injury problem throughout his career, regardless of that crazy good stuff, has not faced many of the Blue Jays hitters. So they will have to go to the video room to make sure they figure out some ways to get to Eury Perez today. So on that fact, join us every day, Blue Jays fans. We are here to talk all things Toronto Blue Jays and give you as many updates as humanly possible. We are hoping that Vlad Jr. will be actually in the lineup today. That is the kind of the rumor. If not, he possibly could be back on Monday. He has resumed running. That is the big thing. For somebody with a hamstring inflammation, if he's run the bases well and he feels good afterwards, he'll probably just pop up all of a sudden back in the lineup. He's still considered day-to-day. Talk to you tomorrow, Blue Jays fans, and we'll have a great day. Go Jays.